Oh no, I'm all tucked in for bed for the night, but my light's still on. For my final project, I made a system that will allow me to never use my bedroom light switch ever again. The basics of how this works is I can use this remote here and this IR sensor in order to tell the servo to turn the light on and off when I am in bed. And these ultrasonic sensors here and here are able to sense when someone has entered or exited the room and turn the light on or off accordingly. The code is a bit complicated, so I think it's best if I do a demonstration first. Right now, it knows that I'm the only person in the room. So when I walk out, it should turn the light off. When I walk back in, it will turn the light off, or it'll turn it on. If another person walks in, it won't do anything because it knows that there's two people in here. So if I walk out, it won't do anything. Right? Okay, so right now it thinks that there's only one person in here, and if I turn it off for bed for the night, and then someone walks in, and now it knows there's two people, it doesn't do anything because I want to stay asleep. And if I walk back out, it won't do anything because there's still someone in here. However, if I'm going to go out to classes for the day, and I don't feel like turning it back on because to tell it I'm no longer in bed, I can just walk out, won't do anything, but when I walk back in, it will understand that I want the lights back on again. I'm using two different Arduinos and two different Arduino codes because the IR sensor and the servo motor were not behaving well together. And so once I separated them into two and had one be responsible for measuring the IR sensor and one being responsible for the servo motor, it worked much better. This remote will send an infrared signal to the IR sensor and will read off a hexadecimal number to this Arduino. If the hexadecimal number is the one that indicates the power button, then it will send a signal through this white wire here, which is then read by the green Arduino. This will allow the green Arduino understand whether or not I want to go to bed or not. It will also send signals to these ultrasonic sensors to sense what the distance is that it is measuring. If it is below a certain distance, it will say that there is someone there. If this one has already been toggled on and then this one suddenly has a person walk in front of it, it will understand that someone has walked through the door. Same is true of vice versa. I also count the amount of times that the code will run through the loop if someone walks in front of the sensor to make sure that no one accidentally walks in front of the sensor then walks away without walking entirely through the door, so we don't get accidentally adding or subtracting people to the room population count. The code knows that if the person count has changed from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, that it will need to change what the light is going to be. This is also true for one it senses of the blue Arduino board that is connected to the IR sensor. If it has been indicated to change, the server will rotate to the position that the light is supposed to be for its on or off state. This right here is my servo control function that I use to set the position of the servo motor. The code will print out what the light state is, the amount of people in the room, and whether or not people are asleep for my processing code. They will also reset the important variables at the end and make sure that the loop count is correct. My processing code is used in order to visualize whether the light is on, how many people are in the room, and if they are sleeping or not. So if I add a person to the room by doing my sensors, it'll add someone. If they're in bed, it'll turn off and they'll be sleeping. If someone leaves the room, it'll just go down to 1. If they leave the room, go to 0. And now if they enter, go back to 1. This is my mechanical setup for the turning on and off the switch, where each part is long enough such that enough torque is put into the light switch and it has enough reach to actually make contact. It can also work alone without being attached to the computer because of the battery pack.